The Department of World Languages and Cultures at Georgia State University presents Arabic 1001 Grammar. In this section of the course, we discuss plural nouns, and in this lesson, we continue to discuss non-human plural nouns. In this final section of the lesson, we will be discussing counting. We can ask our now familiar question, Ma hadha? And our answer this time is going to be Hadha kitab wahid Arabi. This is one Arabic book. In this lesson, we'll be talking about how to use the numbering system. We have to ask the question, Ma hadhihi? And the reason is because, as we learned in the previous lessons, non-human plural is feminine singular. So the question becomes, what are these? Hadhihi can mean these as well as this. And our answer is going to be, Hadhihi thalathat kutub Arabiya. These are 3 Arabic books. We have put the number thalatha, 3, before the word kutub, and this lesson is going to explain how precisely to do that. Hadha has become hadhihi because this has become these, as non-human plural is feminine singular. By the same token, Arabi has become Arabiya, again because non-human plural is feminine singular. But our number, thalatha, has ta marbuta on it for a completely different reason, which is part of what this lesson is going to explore. Let's discuss the numbering system in Arabic. Everything involving numbers and counting in Arabic is hideously overcomplicated. The numbering system is loaded up with grammatical bells and whistles that have not changed since medieval times, and this makes everything involving numbers difficult to deal with in Arabic. This lesson will explain the simplest aspects of the numbering system, but this will inevitably miss a few of the details, which we will catch up on later. Take a look at the English examples here. They're so simple. 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 20 books. But look at the form of book in the various Arabic translations here. Kitab wahid, 1 book. The number comes after the singular noun. Kitaban, 2 books. We don't even use a number. We use an ending instead. Thalathat kutub, 3 books. Now we put the number before the plural noun. And finally, ashrun kitaban. We use the number, then we go back to the singular noun and put a funny ending on it. Anything involving numbers is a pain in Arabic. Just get used to dealing with it. Let's ask a different question. Ma huna? What's here? And our answer here will be huna kitab wahid kabir. Here is one big book. Kitab is masculine, singular, and indefinite. Because of what you've learned in previous lessons, you're used to seeing kabir as masculine, singular, and indefinite as well. But in this case, so is the number 1, wahid. Wahid is the simplest of the numbers to use. It behaves as if it were a regular adjective. It needs to agree in gender, number, definiteness, and case, like all adjectives do. What happens if that object is feminine? Well, it's really quite simple. We say, huna nafidha wahida saghira. So nafidha, window, is indefinite, singular, and feminine. So saghira is indefinite, singular, and feminine. And therefore, wahid is as well. We add ta marbuta to it. Our number 1 is a regular adjective in Arabic. It follows its noun and agrees in gender, definiteness, and case. It works the same way for objects as it does for people. We can have 1 book, kitab wahid. Kitab is masculine, singular, and indefinite, so is wahid. Ghurfa wahida, 1 room. Ghurfa is feminine, singular, and indefinite, so is wahida. Taliba wahida, even though she's human, it doesn't matter. She's feminine, singular, and indefinite, so is wahida. And at-talib al-wahid, the only student. If you are working out of the Al-Kitab textbook, you will learn that poor Maha is wahida because she lives in New York City and has nobody to talk to. So wahid is not a number, it is an adjective derived from the number 1. We can ask the question, ma hunaka, what's there? And our answer is going to be hunaka kitaban kabiran. And we do not see the number 2, ithnain, anywhere in this sentence, and you will never see the number ithnain used to count objects. Instead, we use the dual ending, which is an here. So this sentence means there are 2 big books. Kabir has to agree with its noun in every way, and since kitaban is masculine, dual, and indefinite, kabir needs to be masculine, dual, and indefinite as well. So we add the ending to count 2 of anything. It will work exactly the same way, except now the ta marbuta on the end of nafida and saghira changes back to regular ta, because ta marbuta is only allowed to be the final letter in a word. When we add a suffix, we change it back to ta. So hunak nafidatan saghiratan. There are two small windows. We don't see the number ithnain anywhere in this sentence. So the number 2 presents a challenge in Arabic. We can never use the number ithnain to count objects. Instead, we have to use the dual ending an on the singular noun. Adjectives have to agree with their nouns, so they take the an ending as well. Kitaban, 2 books. Ghorfatan, notice that the ta marbuta has become ta, 2 rooms. Toliban dhakiyan, 2 smart students. I've added the ending to both the noun and the adjective. And tolibatan dhakiyatan, here again the ta marbuta has changed back into regular ta. Later on, you'll see that the an ending becomes ain in most words. It's almost always ain in colloquial Arabic. Let's discuss what's called the dual, the muthanna in Arabic, from the number ithnain. Arabic uses the dual to count a pair of any object or person. Both the an and ain endings take a single kasra in all 3 cases, so we'd say kitabani, 2 books. Ghorfatani, 2 rooms. Tolibatani dhakiyatan, 2 smart students. Tolibani dhakiyan, 2 smart students, if we're pronouncing the full vowel endings at the end of each word because we're speaking fancy Arabic. The dual is easy to recognize, but rather difficult to learn to use. For now, just recognize the an ending and try to use it instead of ithnain. We can ask our question, ma hadha? And our answer is kitab Arabi, an Arabic book. There is no an. We have to infer it's there from the fact that this noun and its adjective are indefinite and singular. If there are 3 of them, however, we're going to say, ma hadhihi, what are these? And our answer is thalathat kutub Arabiya. Kitab, a masculine noun, has become kutub, a feminine singular noun, even though in English we would be accustomed to thinking of it as plural. And because kutub is a feminine singular noun, Arabiya has to become a feminine singular adjective as well. But why does thalatha have the ta marbuta on it? And the answer is not because kutub is feminine singular, but rather because kitab is masculine singular. Get ready for one of the stranger rules of introductory Arabic. If we take a feminine singular noun like nafida, we can say nafida saghira, a small window. But if there are 3 of them, we are going to say thalath nawafid saghira. Nafida was a feminine singular noun to begin with. When it became plural, it remained feminine singular because it's non-human. So saghira stays saghira. But thalath here doesn't get its ta marbuta. And the reason is not because nawafid is plural or anything like that, but because nafida is a feminine singular noun. Here's the theory behind it. We count objects from 3 to 10 by placing the number in front of the indefinite plural noun. However, we make the number agree with the opposite gender of the singular noun. Let's look at these examples here and you'll get it. 3 houses. Beit, house, is a masculine noun. So when we count buyut, houses, we have to use a feminine number to count them. Thalathat buyut, 3 houses. Shaqqa, apartment, is a feminine singular noun. So when we count shiqaq, apartments, we have to use a masculine number to count them. Arba shiqaq. If we want to count cars, a sayara is a feminine noun, so we use a masculine number to count them. Khams sayarat. If we want to count mosques, a masjid is a masculine noun, so we need to use a feminine number to count mosques. Asharat masajid. If we return to our examples, kitab Arabi, an Arabic book, kitab is a masculine noun. So when we count kutub, we have to use a feminine number to count them. Thalathat kutub Arabiya. Thalatha and Arabiya are both feminine with ta marbuta, but for completely different reasons. Arabiya gets ta marbuta because non-human plural is feminine singular. Thalathat gets a ta marbuta because kitab is a masculine singular noun, so when we count kutub, we have to use a feminine number. This takes quite a bit of getting used to, and if you can simply master putting the number before the indefinite plural noun, you're doing very well for a first-year student. If we look at feminine nouns, nafida saghira, a small window. Nafida is a feminine singular noun. So when we count nawafidh, windows, we need to use a masculine number. Saghira is a regular adjective, so it stays feminine because non-human plural is feminine singular. Thalath is masculine because nafida, a window, is a feminine noun. If you find this confusing, join nearly every other first-year Arabic student. Simply get used to it, and after a while it will become second nature. I can ask, ma hadhihi? Let's return to our shapes. Murabba wahid, one square. Murabba is a masculine singular indefinite noun, so wahid, because it is a regular adjective, has to be masculine singular and indefinite as well. If we count two squares, we don't use the number two. We put the an ending on murabba. So we have murabba'an, which means two squares. If we're going to count three of them, murabba becomes murabba'at, it's plural. And since murabba is a masculine noun, when there's one square, we're going to use a feminine number to count it, thalathat murabba'at. If we do it with circles, a feminine noun, we have da'ira wahida, one circle. Again, da'ira is a feminine singular indefinite noun, so wahida, being a regular adjective, has to be feminine singular and indefinite as well. If we count two of them, we're going to take the ta marbuta, change it back into regular ta, and add the an ending. We're not going to use the number two. Da'iratan means two circles. If there are three of them, we change da'ira to da'irat, and we count them with a masculine number because da'ira, the singular noun, is feminine. So thalath da'irat means three circles. Let's pair our shapes up with adjectives to make it still more clear. So murabba wahid saghir means one small square. Indefinite masculine singular noun, two indefinite masculine singular adjectives. Notice that we typically put wahid before any other adjective. This means one small square. For two squares, we're not going to use the number two. We're going to say murabba'an saghiran, two small squares. Murabba'an is dual masculine and indefinite, so saghiran needs to be dual masculine and indefinite as well. If we count three of them, we say thalathat murabba'at saghira. Saghira and thalathat get ta marbutas for completely different reasons. Saghira gets a ta marbuta because it's an adjective and it needs to agree with its noun, and its noun is non-human plural and therefore feminine singular. Thalatha gets a ta marbuta because murabba, the singular noun, is masculine, so we need to use a feminine number to count it, and this means three small squares. If we shift over to circles, feminine nouns, we say da'ira wahida saghira. Again, both wahida and saghira are regular adjectives, so they need to agree with their indefinite feminine singular noun. And again, we typically put wahid before other adjectives. If there are two of them, we say da'iratan saghiratan, where the ta marbuta in da'ira has become regular ta, and the same thing has happened to saghira once we put the dual ending an on both words. So this means two small circles. If there are three of them, we say thalath da'irat saghira. Da'ira by itself is a feminine singular noun, so we have to count da'irat with a masculine number. Saghira stays saghira because non-human plural is feminine singular, and this gives us three small circles. So the theory is quite complicated. In practice, it's actually a little simpler. As a review of the vocabulary we've learned in this lesson, here are the nouns we've learned and their plurals. You may wish to pause and take a screenshot here, and 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 here as well, purely for a review. And here are the proper spellings of the numbers 0, 1 through 10, and 20. When we are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that, we typically put ta marbutas on the numbers from 3 to 10. This is just a convention. So congratulations on having learned one of the more complicated parts of first-year Arabic. Again, the numbering system is kind of a nightmare and is very overcomplicated. If you can manage to put 1 after the number, use the dual ending, and put 3 through 10 before the plural number, you're doing fine.